Yo, what up, Street Talks? There, Camera, the thought. This one is your opinion is valuable. So, why is it that in modern society we've been trained to think that our opinion is not valuable? So, for example, we're trained that your opinion is only valuable insofar much as you got degrees, education, you got money, you got clout, you have a bunch of social media followers, views, whatever. But we're not allowed or tolerated to assert our own legitimacy, our own beliefs, without somehow leaning to some sort of greater power, right? So for example, your opinion on politics might not matter unless you have like a PhD in politics, or you've written 20 books, or have a New Yorker article, or whatever it may be. So there's this fear that we have of legitimacy and asserting your own legitimacy, and why is that? So this is my thought. I think it comes down to Christian morality in America. So we're all, the founding fathers in America, Christians, Quakers, and Protestant religion. And according to the cultural fabric of America, what that means is, if you share an opinion that hurts other people, then you are kind of an evil, reprehensible person, and you're gonna go to hell, is effectively the skinny of it. Now, why is this problematic? So the reason I think this is problematic is because then everyone's essentially scared shitless to share their opinion. And how do I think society progresses? Society progresses not by more people having PhDs and more people having more social media followers, whatever. Society progresses when individuals like yourself have the courage to stand up and share your opinion. Now, the problem in modern day, I guess America and the globe is, believe it or not, we're becoming more and more profoundly intolerant to the opinions of others. And to me, I think it's kind of a class and race issue. So for example, only rich and educated people are allowed to have an opinion, and stupid, uneducated people in other parts of America are seen as inferior, despicable, uneducated, dumb, unvirtuous people. Now, this is kind of the bias I've discovered too. So, I consider myself a left-leaning liberal, grew up in the Bay Area, had a liberal education, went to UCLA, studied sociology, whatever. And, for example, when it comes to the election of Donald Trump, whatever, we liberals tend to blame all the people in the South or people in the Midwest, like all these stupid, uneducated, unintellectual peoples who voted for Trump. Or even like when it comes to the UK and Brexit, we essentially are very disrespectful to people in the countryside or to people with like less education. It's like, oh, these people are obviously idiots, and then we essentially take away individual agency from them. What we say is they've been misled and they're misguided, and because they don't have access to the right information. Now, I find this hugely disrespectful, because who are we to think we know what's best for other peoples? I mean, we know what's best for ourselves, but we shouldn't extrapolate our own personal beliefs onto that of other people. And so, if you think about it, if you really do believe in a democracy, democracy means one vote is equal to everyone else's vote, and one opinion is equal to everyone else's opinion. And actually, I do believe that all opinions are equally legitimate. I mean, some opinions might be a little bit more foolish, maybe, but I feel like everyone's opinion is equal. And certainly if you do really believe in a democracy, it doesn't matter if you're from the South or you're from California, your vote should count equally. Now, once again, taking it back to the intolerant peoples, right? How's it going, man? He's looking good. Yeah, keep it up. So, you know, I find this too because, you know, now, you know, my social circle, we're a bunch of like, you know, all my friends in tech, and, you know, it's funny, I feel like now 80% of my education, my social circle, everyone has a PhD or an MD, and pretty much all of my friends are college educated. Now, we tend to think that we're on the apex of the opinion hierarchy, that everyone else who's, you know, from the South or from the Midwest, people, you know, who are being suckered by Fox News or whatever, yo, anyone who watches the news is being suckered by someone else. Like even, you know, CNN, Fox, NPR, like every single political news agency has its own hidden agenda. Now, what is really important is for you as an individual, you to have your own personal thought and your own opinion, and for you not to be scared to share your own opinion. And now, it does seem like the mob has full autonomy over, you know, what is politically correct and what isn't politically correct. And to me, this is actually very dangerous because, once again, if you believe in political correctness, you also believe in intolerance of certain opinions, ideas, and thoughts. And people tend to get suckered because it's one thing to, you know, nitpick at people's words and lexicon and taking things out of context, and it's another thing to actually know what somebody meant to say. I'll give you an example. So, you know, I did Boy Scouts, and, you know, one of the Scoutmaster guides, right? His name is Tom. He's like a 80-year-old older Caucasian dude. He's like the OG of the Boy Scouts troop, right? And this is, you know, I was born in 1988, and, you know, I'm in high school. And then he would talk about, you know, us Asian people as Orientals. Now, you know, somebody who's like, you know, social justice warrior, super woke will be like, how dare you call us Oriental, blah blah. I'm like, but you know, me as an Asian American, I'm like, dude, I get it. Like he was born in a different era, raised in a different era, and actually for a certain period of time, like solid decade, the politically correct way to refer to Asian people was actually Oriental, and now it's seen as like a racial slur. So it's just so funny how things kind of get changed. And even like for me growing up, you didn't call people white or black. Like that was almost like kind of offensive. It's like you call them Caucasian, African American, and so forth. And so this is where I find it hugely like weird, because now in the political discourse, it's okay to call somebody white or black, but you're not allowed to call somebody yellow or red or purple or pink, whatever it may be, right? So, you know, everyone is so afraid of having an opinion, and this is just my thought. To me, it's kind of more of a media, technology, societal, cultural thing. So another example, why is it that most people on YouTube, you know, or even podcasts, a little bit of everything, how come nobody has a real opinion? Because everyone is such slaves to the algorithm or views or monetization strategies, and so no one really says what's really on their mind because they're afraid that people are gonna unsubscribe or they're gonna lose advertising and stuff like that. And so my thought is, you can only ever truly trust the political opinion of somebody who is independently wealthy. So, you know, as long as somebody has to make a living or monetize their opinion based on ads or donations, whatever, one cannot give them 100% faith. So for example, like me, you know, I make my living from photography, so certainly you should trust my opinions on photography a little bit less because that's how I make my money. But when it comes to politics, sociology, cultural things and stuff like that, my opinion is genuine. And so at least you might not agree with Eric Kim, but you know that Eric is sharing his real thoughts, uncensored and, you know, unwatered down. So taking it back to the notion of why share your opinion. So I don't know, I think it's, to me, one of the greatest human joys in life is to have an opinion and to share your opinion without fear of retribution. So like, you know, I can't speak for you, but you know, me being an American, right? America is certainly not the best country when it comes to like social welfare and stuff like that, but America is the best country in the world, at least for now, for freedom of speech, freedom of activity, and the ability to share your mind without fear that, you know, some dude's gonna lock you up to jail indefinitely or, you know, chop off your head, whatever it may be, right? And so I feel like us as Americans, it's almost kind of like our right, our duty, and our privilege to be able to have freedom of speech. Because, like, you know, even anything about the founding fathers, right? Like the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You're not really promised much out. And to me, like, the way I take American notions is like, I think of American as an attitude. The ultimate American attitude is the freedom of speech. You know, freedom of the press is whatever. And remember, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know, all these platforms, YouTube, they are not governmental entities, so we shouldn't get fooled. There is no such thing as freedom of speech or freedom of press on a private company. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the socials, right? These are private entities and private corporations. It is impossible for you to have 100% freedom of speech on this. And this is why you must make your own website, blog, you know, register your domain on bluehost.com, install wordpress.org. You're gonna have 100% freedom to say whatever you want to say and upload whatever you want to say. Now, you might not have as much social traction or views or pages, whatever, but isn't having an undistilled opinion or having an unwatered down opinion far more valuable than getting a bunch of likes, like pointless likes and stuff like that? Is my basic thought. So your opinion is valuable, your opinion is yours. Your opinion just means what you think. Opinion in ancient Greek, you know, whatever you pine on is your mind, your thoughts. Your opinion cannot be refuted unless you're talking about physics or hard maths. All opinions, ethics, morals, politics, you study history long enough and study philosophy long enough, realize everything is just up to personal individual opinion. Society will thrive the more you share your opinion without watering yourself down or censoring yourself. So just share your opinion, and whatever others say, they could go to HE double hockey sticks.